grief and loss. And what I have also learned about the journey of grief and loss is we think that grief and loss is just sometimes when we hear those words, and I'll ask what people what they hear. But initially, when I would hear grief and loss, I always equated that to somebody passing. I never equated that, like years ago, I never equated that to the other things in my life until nursing school, right? Nursing school has changed my life. Becoming a nurse has changed my life more than I worked in mental health initially, so I think I already had some knowledge of like how the mind and spirit work. But then going to nursing school kind of like made me feel like, oh, I'm not an anomaly. The stuff that's in my head is not crazy. But our grief and loss journey begins at the day that we are born. All of this goes back to childhood. It goes back to our entering into the universe. So, when I was in nursing school, and the person that did our grief and loss lecture, when they talk about like how we're supposed to approach our patients and the types of things that we should be mindful for when we're caring for people, talked about something called cumulative loss. I never heard this word a day in my life. In conjunction with loss. But when she talked about it, I was like, wow, it just was such an eye-opener. So a baby is born. Where's little Olivia?
Nursing, yeah.
Okay. Nursing. Okay. So, great example. Perfect example. That baby is nursing right now, but in a few more months, that baby's going to lose that ninny. Mm-hmm. And in a few more months, the baby's going to lose the pacifier. Mm-hmm. And then the baby's going to lose the blanket. And the baby's going to lose the dog that they grew up with. And then that young man is going to lose the friends he had because he had to move to a new neighborhood. And then that friend is going to lose an aunt that he loved dear because she passed away. And then he's going to lose another set of friends because he's going into high school. And so when it just trickles down. And so by the time we get to a tragic incident, like maybe losing a child or losing a parent, it's not that we don't care about our parents and our friends and our family when I say this, but we are actually spit of loss by then. We have lost relationships, we have lost friendships, right? We have lost jobs, we have lost ourselves. And by the time you get to a place where you may do something, hair, right? We lose our ability to move, to recover, right? When I was 20, I could do this. And now that I'm 30, I have to adjust. I don't even know who I am anymore. We lose body parts. I just had a hysterectomy almost 2 years ago. So that's a new person. That's a new thing. And so when you build up all of that, grief and loss does not just pertain to a person. It pertains to the cycle of life. And we have to forever readjust our minds, readjust who we are, be patient with ourselves and be patient with other people because we don't know what they're going through. We don't know why that irritation is there, why that person was short with me, right? I don't know what is in what's going on in their world that's making them a little bit irritated, right? So we have to be accountable to ourselves, accountable to each other, and understand that and give ourselves some grace. Not excuses, but grace. And so I just wanted to print this out because a lot of times we don't really get to see like what that means to grieve. And grief looks different for everybody. Me and Brian was having a conversation about like, sometimes some people don't cry. People get mad. You got people who's like, oh my God, you ain't crying. You must ain't love her. Like everybody deal with this thing right here differently. And some people are like, and grief is not just the person. You have to process that, like what you said to your point, Erica. Sometimes you lose one person and lose a whole family. We lost a couple people in a short period of time and lost a whole community of people at the same time. So this kind of can give you a blueprint. These are just tools that help to so that you can recognize the things that you're going through, so we don't end up my high functioning thing going. So we don't end up in this high functioning depression space. Awareness is key, right? It took me a long time to realize that I was more depressed than I thought I would. Mm-hmm. With the help of family who was like, oh, you said that kind of rough. One night I said something to cousin, and she was like, ouch. And I said, am I being mean? Yes you are. Brian told me a few times, you being a little, that mood swing hitting a little different nowadays. And I was like, what? So I'm around here barking at people, and I don't even know why, and I'm trying to figure that out. Thank God that I have people that love me enough to tell me in loving ways, not browbeat me, not dismiss me, not throw me away, right? And I think that that's pretty much the basis of today, right? Community, this garden, and being able to recognize that we are all going through most of the same things, right? If I say how many people lost somebody in the last 2 to 3 years, we all probably are going to raise our hands, right? If I say how many people are struggling at work with coworkers, microaggressions, right? Biting your tongue, we all going to some degree, right? We all going to raise our hand, right? If I say how many of us are dealing with family issues and relationship issues that we don't really know how to navigate and deal with, yeah, right? How many people spend time on the phone with people where you want to just hang up and be like, girl, if you don't fix your own life, right? Like, right? Like we all, right? How many people are struggling to find their own purpose, right? We are all going through the same thing. So these are just tools. As we wrap up, we are not done. My speech is done, but our practice today is not done. I have a couple more activities that I want us to do. Before I introduce that, do we have any? Because remember, this is a community thing, so I need some feedback and some talk back. What are we thinking? How are we feeling? Go ahead.
One thing is that I understand that we look at this as an individual progress, but as one thing she was saying is that let's look at other people who's around us and who might be going through these symptoms. So let's not just write them off like, but maybe sit there like, maybe they just lost someone. Maybe they just lost a body part. Maybe they're going through let's look at this about, how we deal with each other to probably kind of understand that maybe they need someone to pay attention, to listen, I know I do sometimes. I try to keep it within, but maybe I need to start to say, I'm angry. I'm depressed. Instead of just saying, it's you, But one thing I'm getting from this is kind of look at what other people could be going through and use this as a blueprint to maybe kind of help understand how I can better help them or how we can both work through this together.
Or even inviting the conversation, because it's not safe to talk about these things all the time.
Exactly.
And maybe finding ways of how we can safely approach this with the people we love and care about. Because, that could make a big difference.
Yeah, and really sensitive topics right here. How do you enter these topics? You talk about loss with someone,
It's hard because sometimes when you see that something is going on with a person and you ask them, are you okay? And they'll say, yeah, I'm fine, because they don't know how you're going to react when they start, talking to you about their issues. So.
Yeah, so just finding a better, because you're okay is so open and it's just like so many ways. Yes, I'm fine. Because, what I'm going through, you're not ready for that, but are you okay? You know what I mean?
Right.
So, excuse me. Letting people know there's a safe space, you know what I mean? And we're going to give you a safe space where you can just talk. You can vent, I'll just listen, Finding ways to open that door so people can really lay it out there, you know, and let them just get it off your chest sometimes.
Yeah.
is
And not be
therapeutic,
judged.
you know?
And not be talked about after the fact.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And that's what I was gonna say, like, adding to all of that is that when cousin checked in with Jamila, just being comfortable enough, or, you know, just having enough to say, hey, are you okay? Because what you just said hurt my feelings in a way that you haven't hurt my feelings before. Because sometimes it's hard for, I'll use myself as an example, for me to say, you hurt my feelings, and for me to check in with the person that actually hurt my feelings, hey, what's going on? I think that'll be a challenge for me, but it's something that when I'm, you know, thinking about what other people may go through, because everybody's going through something, but just taking a step back from me, because my immediate response is aggressive passiveness. Like, I'm gonna aggressively passive address what you just did without taking into account something that might be going on with that person. So now, instead of automatically going into my comfortable response, I'll be more mindful to step back and just check in.
Good way to put it.
Yeah.
I would like to add, like, also be like, if this is your loved one and there's someone close to you, you know their behaviors. You get what I'm saying? You know how they are. So if this person is usually happy and, you know, just nice to be around, and then all of a sudden their mood changed or their behavior changed, something is going on, even if they're not expressing it. But it's like you have to kind of pay attention and be empathetic and patient, and provide, like one of you said, like a safe space for this person to go within, calm down, and there's nothing personal. If they're distant, some people take distance like, oh, it's something personal. It's not personal. I'm trying to handle myself right now, and I can't be there for you right now, and that should be okay.
You know what I find helpful for those situations when it's hard to address things like that is put yourself out there. You know, let your friend know, let your cousin know, let your girlfriend know. I need a minute. I'm feeling this way, you know, and I just need to go lay down, and then I'm gonna call you back, and I'll let you know what's going on. And then that allows that person to hear me, know what I'm going through, and when the shoe's on the other foot, they know that I'm somebody that they can talk to. So if you practice it yourself with the people that you love, they'll be more open to practice it back to you.
Yeah, people don't take it so personal, you know, like when you withdraw, they might think, well, is it me?
Is it me, right?
Just let me know, you know what, I don't want to talk about it, maybe tomorrow.
You'll be surprised.
But
People just
I'm not messing with you right now. I'm not messing with no one. Don't take it personal. We'll probably talk about it tomorrow, but right now, let me gather my things. So I think that's a good part of communication, you know, we can do to let others know that we coming back. We coming back.
I'ma
All
tell you.
right. It's not you, it's me.
I think too, it's important that we too expand our communities. Sometimes we're in a community where people are negative, it can fester and grow. And sometimes I've noticed myself growing up in South Philly, in the projects I was raised in, and people had a certain mindset, a certain level of where you can reach and attain to. If you felt happy about yourself, if you felt confident, you were like, okay, you're not part of this anymore. You're not part of this clique. So sometimes expanding the community and learning more and widening it out, and coming back to your own community, you can share something. But if you're already in that bowl together with everybody else, and they're not seeing past that bowl, it can be a festering thing where it passes into our children, their children, but it breaks somewhere when you say to yourself, you know what, I have to get better with myself to help other people too, the community too. So us widening out and seeing culture, experiencing things, come back to your own community and share those things helps everybody to go together.
For sure.
So these topics are extremely heavy, right?